goals off the
Well, Daisy, that is an opportune time to jump in and just cut to the chase of a massive, massive story that's unfolded today. And I'm allegedly surrounded by newsbreakers and people who love to tell stories, i.e. Damo, Nate, Howie, who are aware of this story but are suddenly, I don't want to talk about it. They've been asked not to speak about it, Dave.
It's incredible, yeah, and very rarely does something come across my desk that doesn't get to Damo's first, which is very exciting on a night like this where I could be the newsbreaker for once.
I haven't been able to confirm what I think you're about to talk about is where I'm at.
Have you been muzzled, though? You might not be able to...
As someone asks you, please, for my brand, don't speak about
I
this.
don't yet know what we're talking about.
Oh, you just didn't know a second ago.
What are we talking
Hey,
about?
well, we're not starting with Christian Petrarca because you've been muzzled on that one too, but we can get to that.
No, I actually haven't. That's caused me problems.
Well,
You still be on the phone for half an hour?
Yeah, another text has come through. We'll get to that one in a minute. But the fact that somewhere in Melbourne today, maybe a studio for another network in a cafeteria that also hosts a gambling and wagering company, a prominent figure in the media may have won an award. The Elf Brown, I think it's called. I'm not sure. I can't be too confident, but it's pretty cool. Kane Corns won that, Damo? Did you appoint him as the winner?
I can confirm he won the Elf Brown during the week, yes.
And Dylan Leachy's a big part of this show?
Leachy's been a long-term contributor. Haven't spoken to Leachy for a while.
One of Howie's good mates.
They've got a long history there. Was there an incident?
Well, an ex-employee of PointsBet, who's now across to the other side, was in a cafe where Leachy was and also Kane Corns. And I can confirm there was a conversation had that was involving swearing, and by one person to the other, and Leachy wasn't the one doing the swearing.
Was there some threats made?
Not so much a threat, but just be careful. A warning, I would say, about some sort of keyboard warrior-like behaviour, to the point that the murmurings of HR getting involved. And Damo, can you confirm or deny any of this? Or
I can't confirm.
Have you and Nate next to you both been muzzled by said person?
Did you get asked,
Oh,
Nate? Look at him. Look at the two of them putting the mute button on. How he's trying to distance himself because, no, he came on my podcast.
How knows about this too?
He's a friend of mine now, so I'm not allowed to talk about
Hey, here's a good idea, Duke. Why don't you go head-to-head with him again on the radio? See how that went last time.
Absolutely. Because I would have a conversation.
Because you're not only 15 love down, you're 6 love, 5 love, 40 love down.
Your distraction tactics aren't going to work. You have been asked, please don't talk about this. You've won an award the night before, Kane. You've then threatened a staff member, abused someone in the most horrific style. He needs to apologise for that, and I'm assuming he will come out and apologise.
A written letter.
That would be disgraceful. If I walked out of the studio here at Triple M and strafed a fellow worker...
you had a boss at Triple M up against the wall.
And I don't regret a second of that. I'm proud of that. That was on my third day in the office.
Up against the wall.
Hang on, no more distracting tactics. This is about you two.
I'm accountable to that. I'll talk about that. Have you two been asked not to talk about this?
Just a yes or a no?
I would talk about it if I knew more detail about it.
A yes or a no? A yes or a no?
We might get Kate Corns on.
This is a yes or no.
A yes or no?
Have you been asked not to talk about it?
No.
You and blokes. Look at the state of the lying to our faces. This is a raft. This is a rift between the group.
What are you saying's happened, though? Yeah, you've danced.
I'm saying what's happened because you told me what happened in our WhatsApp group that Kane strafed the staff.
No, that's not.
No, who sent the message?
Do you want me to pass on your comments?
Who sent the message?
Look at Harry's getting very uncomfortable all of a sudden. He doesn't like this.
Harry hasn't spoken.
Doesn't like confrontation. I promise you, if the story was available to Kane, he would 100% throw both of you under the bus because we've seen him do that.
Howie's very quiet.
I'm concerned.
He's not as quiet as the week after he had a go at Liam Pickering. That's how quiet he's gone.
What's happened, Howie? That's a legitimate story. If someone in our industry has had a blowout.
Hang on, a little confrontation. Tell us what happened.
I'm only telling it because you sent it around. That's what. Where's my phone?
No, let's not get too cute with what was sent. I didn't generate it,
but I can read it out.
Well, that's your choice.
Again, now I'm dancing
around. It didn't come from me or Damo or Howie.
Well, if we want to go with something that is fact around Kane, I was at Adelaide Oval last Friday night, and there was an altercation, interaction between yourself and him that he went on radio today and explained. Have a listen to this.
I saw Darth in the commentary box at Friday night, and I just saw him. Everyone sort of mingles before the game starts, and everyone's like having a cup of tea or having a sausage roll or whatever, and Das was making a cup of coffee, and I thought, how am I going to play this? I'm thinking in my head, because it's kind of awkward, but we're all big boys, aren't we? So Das was putting the milk into his coffee, and I was making a cup of tea, and I just walked over and said, oh, Das, do you mind if I borrow the milk? And he goes, yeah, no worries. And then Dwayne Russell's come past, and he's seen this exchange. And then Dwayne started calling the action, and he's like he was calling it play-by-play. And he's gone, here comes Corns. He's asking for the milk. This is going to be tense. How is Darcy going to respond? And I was just like, so it was good as playing just to sort of break the ice and make it less awkward. And then Darcy said to me, he said, oh, look, I can't be seen with you for too long. It's going to damage my reputation. So he walked off.
So it's taking the piss out of you.
So Kane and I are fine.
No,
that
you're
was
not.
That was on the brownie.
That's like
Kane and I are fine.
a
We
pat
caught
on
up
the
last
back.
week.
There you go, young fella. I've already given you a clip.
How was that
I'm gonna give you
altercation,
another
though,
one.
from your point of view? Was that how it went
Absolutely
down?
fine. That's 100% accurate.
I've
It's
now got
exactly how
more
it happened.
detail on this other incident.
Oh, heck,
Well, the information is now coming.
Suddenly-
I don't understand the relevance of us talking about this other issue. I think it's a private issue between another media company, and I don't think anyone cares. I think we should move on pretty sharpish from that.
Snorkel wants to take a phone call.
We've got a phone call.
13353. Hello.
I just don't think it's
fellas,
relevant for us to talk about.
well, fellas, I'm just in the Uber, driving home from the airport. And I'm,
Oh,
I'm
this is
listening
great,
along,
Kane.
and
This is great because I've got a
I
couple of
have
people
never-
here who have been muted, Kane, who
No,
are
that's
who are
okay.
not talking. Did
Yeah,
you
no, I'll tell
did
you-
you
I'll
ask
t-
them
I'll
not to
tell you-
talk about this?
No, you've added a fair amount of mayonnaise, so I just thought I'd clear up what actually happened today. And I'll tell you exactly what happened, and I
Okay.
don't regret a minute. I don't regret a minute of it. Dylan Leach was in at the SEN studios. I've never met Dylan. I've had some correspondence with him online before, and he's been incredibly critical of me online. And I just thought, if I ever see that guy, like I'm actually going to ask him if he's prepared to say what he said online to my face. So that's exactly what I did. As I was walking out of the studio, he was crossing paths with me. It was at SEN Daisy. It wasn't at a cafe. And I just said, Dylan,
What did you
are
say to him,
prepared
Kane?
I said, Dylan, are you prepared to say what you've been saying online to my face? And he walked over and said, Kane, great to meet you, like in a reasonably sort of jovial attitude. And I just said, don't be a C and be very careful, and walked out of the studio. So that's the exact truth of it. That's the way it went down. He was quite shell-shocked. He was almost like a rabbit in headlights. I've never seen someone so
stunned.
stunned.
Someone called me an Emily Seabon and told me to be careful. I think that would.
You've
that would
played
put
footy
you-
for 15 years, Das, and you've worked in the media for 20, and you haven't
Here
had
it goes
conversations
again.
like that a million times. How many times have you had a conversation like that with someone?
That's not the language I prefer to use, Kane, myself.
Don't be a C.
That was. But did you then text a couple of your colleagues and say, please don't talk about that? Is that true?
No, but with about, I don't know, half an hour, I couldn't believe how quickly the news travelled. Both Brownie first, I think it was, and then Damo maybe an hour later just said, I
And said,
heard
please
you
don't
had
talk about this.
Yeah, when I was no, I can read you the exact text message that I sent out. I just hang on, I'll just put my phone on speaker. Hang on. The exact.
Good news is, Kane, is you're in the Uber that you're listening to Triple M, and that's a real positive in my world.
And the fact that you got to work with Duke and also Daisy, that's going to be great.
Das, I just want to. This is the exact message I sent at 3:30 today, in response to the text they first sent me. Are you doing this tonight? Be handy for me if you didn't. So yes, I did ask them in a roundabout way not to do it. I just wanted to clear it up. I know it's big breaking news. Myself and Dylan Leach, the first item of your show on a prelim final weekend. It's real breaking sort of stuff. I just wanted to.
Happy with our content.
No, I'm fine. I just wanted to clear up the accuracy of it.
No, that's good, Kane. It was great to share the milk with you last week too. I really enjoyed
Thanks.
that. But I'm more disappointed in these two, who actually have flat out denied exactly what Kane's confirmed.
Must have missed the text.
And both of you have denied that.
I had a busy
Kane's-
afternoon, Das.
Kane's thrown them both under the bus.
Is Kane still on the line?
As well, like, good on him. He comes home. Kane's still there, so I thought he'd join.
Are you concerned that you're calling people out about what they've said online or in the media at the moment?
No, not really, Daisy. What in particular? I didn't say it to him online.
No.
Is there
Just as
anything-
a general rule. Like, if
Well,
if you're
give me an
keeping
example.
receipts on him.
No, just give me an example of what you're talking about.
Well, in particular, I was called a part-timer by your good self, but that should be taken.
No,
in
I
good
mean that
humour,
was
or is
2 years ago, Daisy. We've mentioned
you
that
didn't say it?
you've had no. I've apologised for that, and we've had that out, and you've had many responses, including me calling me embarrassing last week. Like, come on, mate. Like, if you're going to be fair, be fair.
No,
Yeah,
I'm all
everything
about
I
being
say-
fair. I'm
everything
just
I say
questioning whether
has-
You're being fair or not.
No, everything I say has my name to it. I've never met Dylan Leach in my life. If he wants to have a crack at me online and then he walks straight past me in the corridor and he's not prepared to say it to my face, I think it's fair
So you
if
are well
I
and truly
if I have
right.
that. And this is a private conversation that clearly, obviously, I didn't want to be made public, but I'm just happy to clear up the exact facts
Well, we
behind
appreciate
it.
you taking time to
yeah.
do that. In true Triple
Good
M
on you.
fashion, we are taking the piss a little bit, so you're probably giving
Yeah,
a bit
no, of
more
course.
seriousness than we need,
Yes.
but we appreciate your call nonetheless.
No. Guys, I do like your show, honestly. I wouldn't be listening to it if I didn't. So have a great call and hope it's a good game.
Thank you, Kano.
Kane, before you go, congratulations on sweeping the media awards. You took everyone out. He's gone.
Won the Alf Brown. Deserved.
That's not what you were saying before.
I wanted you to go head to head again. I felt like you backed down. When he started to talk to you, you started to
Mate.
get jittery again.
You're on very thin ice, very thin ice when it comes to telling the truth. Both of you who refused to. I got more admiration for Kane on the back of it. Came on,
He asked-
word for word.
Obviously, he asked us, and he's a mate of ours, so we were prepared to honour that. If a mate of yours said, Das, I would rather you not talk about this on air.
Well, I
would you
wouldn't have
talk
asked
about it?
someone not to in that situation. I would
But
have
if
thought-
somebody asked you, would you not talk about it?
Howie, I apologise for derailing your show in 5 minutes.
I've never seen
Your
Howie
cheek
more
doesn't do
uncomfortable.
this.
Howie, say
Talk.
something, mate.
That's
on mute.
that is-
I
Say
said to
something.
you,
Howie.
I find it uncomfortable and irrelevant. I think you're all great at your job. I think
That's
Kane's
someone
great
who's
at his
just
job.
been lauded in the media, is in the news, has asked our
That's for-
teammate.
that's for Hutchie and
courageous
SEN to
enough to
deal with.
ring in and answer.
Did a great job to
Howie,
bring it.
that is-
I just think
I
it's
promise you,
Hutchie and SEN
more
situation.
people are compelled by that than anything else we've done this year. I bet you.